everyone, welcome to this week's Down the Rabbit Hole. This week we are talking about a whopper. As you can see, this is absolutely humongous. This quilt is king size and it's huge. It was made for our bed. I used to love it when we had this particular bed. The quilt's hanging all the way down to the floor, and this one most certainly did that. If you do want to make this quilt though, you could quite easily just make one block and then put the half triangles around it to set. So you can see the half blocks here in the corners. You'd probably end up, I think, with like a double bed quilt if you had one single one and all the half ones around it in a border. They really are quite large. Anyway, we'll talk about the quilt in a minute. I wanted to say there's been quite a few people saying which quilts they would like me to talk about, and if you have something you'd particularly like me to talk about, please tell me in the comments. I'd love to know, because then I can plan down the track of different things. There's been a lot of people interested in the strawberry fields sew along, so I will definitely do that. Just give me a couple of weeks so that I can get myself sorted out, make a few blocks and have some things ready to show you as we go. So if you would like to participate, the pattern is available on the website, paper and PDF, or you can buy the Material Obsession 1 book from my website also. So that's all available. That'll happen sometime in the next few weeks, and we will get that done. But yeah, please tell me if there's something in particular that you'd like to see, because I'd love to show it to you. So back to this quilt. This is called the Big Pineapple, and that is because it's a pineapple block, but it's huge. So a pineapple block would normally be maximum 10 or 12 inches. These, I think, from memory, and I've not looked it up, but from memory, I think they're something like 30 inches each block. And the story behind this quilt is that we were writing Material Obsession 1. We'd gotten the book deal to actually, go ahead and write this book. And then we had to finish making the quilts, and we'd already made quite a few, which was quite an unusual thing to do for a quilt book. We didn't know that because we'd never written a book, so we'd just sort of made things and gone ahead and done it. And but there was still a few that we had to make, and I really wanted to make a pineapple quilt. I'd never made one, and I wanted to make like a really modern fabric, pineapple quilt. But I didn't have time to make all of the teeny tiny blocks. For starters, I had to make the quilt pretty quickly. The book was happening and we had to get it done. But the other thing was that all of this beautiful fabric was in the shop, and back then, 2006 this was, you couldn't get fabrics like this in Australia, and they didn't really exist very much overseas. So we had Amy Butler's first collection, which was the Gypsy Rose, which is this one, and her newest collection had just arrived, which is these lovely sort of stencil-y things here. And this is only her second collection. It's a heck of a long time ago, but I would still buy the heck out of that fabric today. I mean, I just think they're just some of the most beautiful fabrics ever produced. So we had these lovely Amy's, and then we also had some fabulous fabric in the shop that was from Weeks Ringle and Bill Kerr, which was this collection, which I stashed so many tiny little bits of that over the years that I still use that collection today in my applique. In fact, I just used a piece of it to do a leaf the other day. I've got the tiniest little bits left. Weeks, if you're listening and you'd like to send me some of your first collection from your vault, send it over, because it's like some of my favorite fabric in the world. It was just absolutely spectacular. But the other fun thing that we had in the shop, and we'd special ordered all of these from the US, the distributor then was not bringing it in, so we'd special indent ordered all these fabrics, was this collection here, which is also this little pink, lovely little pink feathery thing up here. And that is by Valerie Wells. And back in the day, I didn't know Val, but it's really fun for me to have this quilt made from this collection, because now I know Val very well, and I teach for her at Sisters all the time. And she's somebody I absolutely love. But back then, we had this collection from this amazing person, Valerie Wells, and her amazing mother, and we had their books, and we thought they were fabulous. So there she is in my quilt. Hello, Val, if you're watching. Yes, so I decided that I would do my pineapple quilt anyway and make it big instead of little. And so these enormous 30-odd inch blocks became the quilt. And in my insanity, I thought it would be a really good thing to do to make it king size so that it would fit on our bed, and then to hand quilt it, because that's the sort of mad thing that I decided to do. So yes, it's hand quilted in straight lines using masking tape, an inch apart over the entire quilt. I didn't quilt in the tram lines, so I didn't quilt in here, but I used just a straight masking tape and quilted up the edges of it. And the whole thing is quilted all over, an inch apart, the entire quilt. I did run out of puffs slightly on the borders, I'll admit, and you know, there was photo shoots and things that were needing to be done, so there's not quite as much quilting on the border as I would like, but nonetheless, it is all hand quilted. And then I just outline quilted those absolutely gorgeous, great big roses from that collection in there. But yeah, it's as quilts go, it's a really, really fun modern take on a pineapple block. So if you have a whole bunch of great big tulas or something sitting around that you've been saving and you want to make something that has a bang to it, but you don't want to be sitting there for 400 years making it, this is your friend, because you've got all these great big triangles, they're cut big. Every single one of these pieces, even the long pieces, are able to showcase something. There's very few prints out there that are bigger than that when you cut them up, that are going to fit in there really nicely. And there's so many fantastic modern fabrics out there. I mean, I'd love to see this in like a ruby star fabric or something like that. I think it would look amazing. Or Juicy Juice would look absolutely incredible for these dark, like if you used all dark stripes in here and then a great big floral or something in the center. His Nonna collection would look amazing in this. So yeah, there's lots and lots of different things you could do with it. I'm quite fond of it. It's kicked around, it's been on our bed for years and years, and then it was on a guest bed for a while, and then it's just about to go off and live on the bed of my son and his girlfriend who've just bought their first place, and they're treating themselves to a king size bed. So while I actually get the time to make them their own king size quilt, they're going to take this one, and this is going to be the quilt on their bed, and then after that it may well retire. It's had a fairly good life. That may well be the end of it. Perhaps it'll be a picnic rug after that. Anyway, this is the big pineapple. I really hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to tell me what quilts you want to see, because I'd really love to know, and then I can pull them out for you. Oh, and the other thing is, if there's anything that you want me to talk to you about in terms of tutorials and all of that sort of stuff, just let me know these things, because then I can plan going forward, and have some ideas kind of into the next 6 months or whatever, because it appears this is something that I'm going to be doing for a while. Thanks guys, see you next week.